Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valleys. As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. As the apple tree amongst the trees of the wood, so is my beloved amongst the sons.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Lily in the Valley. There's a lily
in the valley.
You know the beat is
Bright as the morning star. Lily in the valley. Bright as the morning star. Lily in the valley. Bright as the morning star.
You know they found joy.
In the valley.
You know the beat is
Bright
bright.
as the morning star.
Somebody found joy.
In the valley.
You know the beat is
Bright as the morning star. In the valley. Bright as the morning star.
What they find, brother?
Somebody found
They
love.
found love.
In the valley.
You know that he is
Bright as the morning star.
Somebody found love.
In the valley. Bright as the morning star.
Somebody found love.
In the valley. Bright as the morning star.
Somebody found peace.
They found peace.
In the valley.
You know that he is
Bright as the morning star.
Oh,
Peace in the valley. Bright as the morning star.
somebody found peace.
In the valley. Bright as the morning star.
What they find, brother?
Somebody found
They
y'all.
found God.
In the valley.
Somebody found deliverance.
In the valley.
Somebody found
They
peace.
found peace.
In the valley.
Somebody found joy. Somebody found love.
In the valley.
Somebody found hope.
In the valley.
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 Coming out.
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves. For love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as become saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you up on earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
Now when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walks through dry places, seeking rest, and finds none. Then he says, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he finds it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goes he and takes with himself 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also in this wicked generation. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. Understanding that there is a situation where we are dealing with spiritual wickedness among high places, there are certain processes that we are going to have to allow to take their course. A lot of times what we want, especially when we get into a situation that is undesirable, what we want is for that situation to be over. Instead of praying for the power to be able to make it through that situation. When you deal with this spiritual wickedness among high places, they have a certain amount of time to rule, and we are not going to be able to stop those things. So instead of praying for everything to go away from us, what we need to be praying for is the power to be able to fight the demons and the spiritual wickedness that we are going to encounter. Today's sermon is entitled Spiritual Wickedness Among High Places, and we're going to begin today's sermon in Job. That's Job chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 1 through 12.
Job chapter 1 and verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Elohim and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, It may be that my sons have sinned, and cursed Elohim in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. Now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Whence cometh you? Then Satan answered Yahweh, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So the first thing we need to understand is Satan walks among us. Step 1. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that fears Elohim and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, Does Job fear Elohim for naught?
Now here comes the part where the adversary says the only reason you serve is because you have some stuff. He said, look, the only reason does he fear you for nothing? Look at all the stuff you done gave him. Correct?
Have not you made a hedge about him and about his house and about all that he has on every side? You've blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth your hand now, and touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only upon himself put not forth your hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh.
So now it was said, if you take his stuff, he will no longer serve you. He is only serving you because of the stuff. We have to understand here, Job has not done anything wrong. This begins with how perfect he is. This began with how he offers up these supplications for his sons. His trial has absolutely nothing to do with anything that he has done wrong. But you have to pay attention. Lucifer knew exactly who he was. Lucifer knew everything that he had. Lucifer also knew that he did not have permission to touch him because of the hedge. He could not get past the hedge that was round about Job. So he recognizes those that he can't touch, and he keeps going by. Another note. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 5, and let's read verses 1 through 7. See, we have a tendency to believe that we are somehow out of sight of the adversary of the devil. You have no idea how many times he was standing in your midst.
It says chapter 5 and verse 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved has a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Yehuda, judge, I pray you, between me and my vineyard. what could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should have bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down.
Now understand, Israel's problem and Job's problem is not the same problem. Job did absolutely nothing for his hedge to be removed. Israel did wrong, which is why the hedge is being removed. We have a lot of a big tendency to start saying, you know, I feel like Job. As if we ain't did nothing wrong at all. Grant?
And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Yehudah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry.
Now, he says he took the hedge from amongst his vineyard. Then in verse 7, he says, for the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah is his pleasant plant. So when he takes down the hedge, now nothing but destruction is now able to enter as it was not able to enter before. Now understand, this whole situation of the adversary, the devil, touching Job, understand you have spirits having a conversation between Yahweh and Satan. Then when he says, I've been coming up and down in the earth, he then uses men when he gets here. Understand the transition of what's happening there. Let's go to Acts chapter 19. Because as you start going through the trial of Job, you start running into all of these instances where men are doing things. So if this is orchestrated by the adversary, the devil, that means there's a spirit that's moving these men. They don't know why they have a problem with Job. They just feel. And you know, whenever we get a feeling, we think every feeling is from the Most High. They got a feeling that they should attack him. They don't know why. Acts chapter 19, let's start that at verse 1.
And it came to pass that while Apollos was at Corinth, Saul, having passed through the upper coast, came to Ephesus, and finding certain disciples, he said unto them, have you received the Holy Spirit since you believe? And they said unto him, we have not so much as heard whether there be any Holy Spirit. And he said unto them, unto what then were you baptized? And they said, unto Johannes' baptism. Then said Saul, Johannes verily baptized with the baptism of repentance, saying unto the people that they should believe on him which should come after him, that is, on the Mashiach Yahshua. When they heard this, they were baptized in the name of the Adonai Yahshua.
Right. Now, verse 5 is very strong, because we know the power of this baptism. The baptism of Johannes was a baptism of repentance. But after Yahshua gets baptized and then the baptisms are done in his name, now you have the power of the Spirit. Now, why is this then so important in verse 5? When they heard this, they were baptized in the name of the Adonai Yahshua. They weren't baptized in the name of Lord Jesus. Understand, when this was even written in English, there was no J to even say Jesus. So it wasn't even possible. 1,600 years, it wasn't possible to be baptized in the name of Jesus because the name didn't exist. This is really big, because you're talking about the difference between having the baptism of repentance and having a baptism that has the Spirit plus repentance. Really big deal. And people just read by it and keep going. Go ahead.
And when Saul had laid his hands upon them, the Holy Spirit came on them, and they spake with languages and prophesied.
Right. Nowadays you hear people laying on of hands. And they even have classes for speaking in tongues. The interesting part is none of those people got the second baptism. So how are they speaking in tongues, even if it was real? You didn't get the baptism in the name of the Adonai Yahshua. So when they laid hands on somebody, how were they ever able to speak in tongues or so-called languages? Because they didn't fit the criteria. He didn't lay the hands on them until they got the baptism in the right name. Go ahead.
And all the men were about 12. And he went into the synagogue and spake boldly for the space of 3 months, disputing and persuading the things concerning the kingdom of Elohim. But when divers were hardened and believed not, but spake evil of that way before the multitude, he departed from them and separated the disciples, disputing daily in the school of one Tyrannus. And this continued by the space of 2 years, so that all they which dwelt in Asia heard the word of the Adonai Yahshua, both Yehudims and Greeks.
So people will tell you that, everything is about peace. I want you to pay attention. It says that in the bottom part of verse 9, separated the disciples, disputing daily in the school of Tyrannus. Oh, he was speaking his peace, whether they liked it or not. And when it comes time to deal in this word, there's going to be opposition, and you have to decide where you're going to stand. Go ahead.
And Elohim wrought special miracles by the hands of Saul, so that from his body were brought onto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them.
Right. This is where now the people have turned that into a money-making business where they sell prayer cloths. You stay up too late, and you're going to run into that miracle spring water. See, this is how I know I should have been to bed. When I stay up long enough to run into God, I say, I've been up too late. I done ran into Kearney. He's selling that miracle spring water, and he got them prayer cloths. That's when I know I've been up too long, right here. So, once again, these things have then been used to build a money-making empire. But they're missing the part where they were baptized in the name of Yahshua. Go ahead.
Then certain of the vagabond Yehudims, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Adonai Yahshua.
Now, what is a vagabond? We look at things and we see where sometimes there is no calmness in someone's spirit, and they just jump from place to place. And I got a reason why they had a problem with each place. And you just look at, why is it you can't be still? Is something wrong with everybody? So now you have these vagabond Jews that say they have this power. Go ahead.
Saying, we adjure you by Yahshua whom Saul preaches. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Yehudim, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahshua I know, and Saul I know. Well, who are you?
Now we have an interesting issue. Know for a fact that if you have any authority in this word, all the demons know you. So you can stop hiding behind the chair. You can stop tiptoeing in here. If you have done anything to help, the demons already know who you are. Matter of fact, what ticks the demons off here is that they don't know. Wait. Hold on. Just wait a minute now. Now, Yahshua I know. And Saul I know. But who you again? You gonna cast us out. Who you? So understand. Don't think you've been sneaking by in life. They know exactly who you are. Some of y'all done tried to invite demons to your house and the demons said, no, I don't have no authority there. And you mad because they wouldn't come. That's because you didn't know they was a demon. Because you were looking at the person and not the spirit that person was entertaining. Go ahead.
And the man in whom the evil spirit was leapt on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. And this was known to all the Yehudim and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus, and fear fell on them all. And the name of the Adonai Yahshua was magnified.
So, even the demons worked for Yahweh that day. You understand? They magnified the name of Yahshua and Saul. They magnified their authority because before they left them running out naked and wounded, they want to know, who are you? They didn't profess, I know Yahshua, I know Saul. Now everybody got to recognize, wait a minute, these brothers got some authority. Because before the demons made them run out of there without their clothes. Now imagine you going to say, you finna cast out a demon, but you the one run out naked. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And this was known to all the Yehudim and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus, and fear fell on them all, and the name of the Adonai Yahshua was magnified. And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. Many of them also which used curious arts brought their books together and burned them before all men.
Right. These are those books where they do them spells and all of that. So even though there was a situation that didn't happen correctly, look at the positivity that comes from it. Now these people say, no, I don't want no part of that. They setting their books on fire. Go ahead.
And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. So mightily grew the word of Elohim and prevailed.
All right. So that's as far as I want to go right there. So we have to then deal with that these spirits already know who we are. So a lot of times we want to be in the in crowd, right? So we want to go certain places, and we say, you know, I can go to these places. Now, in your normal route, you might pass 2 or 3 demons. They recognize you, they leave you alone. But you say, you know what? I want to go to the club tonight. Now you have multiplied your demon activity. Now, see, now instead of 2 that you was going to pass that day, there are now 22 demons. And they all fixated on you. Because they want to know, why are you here? Now, Shakita, I know. Keisha, I know. Man and James, I know. I know why they're here. I can't figure out why you here, though. Your presence here confuses me. And one thing I can tell you about entities, when there's a multiplication of them, they get bolder. See, you may run up on one knuckle that have a problem with you. He might just, But when he got about 5 or 6 friends, you'll find out he a little bit more bolder with his disdain against you. All right. So now you went from 2 demons to 22 demons. And they want to know why you're here. All right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 4. And we're going to read verses 1 through 17.
Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. Then was Yahshua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
Stop. Why did he go in the wilderness? We think that this is something that happened to him. You know, he got baptized and now some things happen. No. He is purposely being tested by the adversary of the devil. This is his spiritual boot camp. He has to wrestle with a spirit before he can move forward. We running from demons. There's one that's been assigned to you. He is your spiritual boot camp. Yahshua is heading to go deal with his spiritual boot camp demon. Go ahead.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungry. And when the tempter came to him, he said,
Now, look at how the tempter pauses at the point that he think he is at his most weakness. He could have came day one. So understand how the spirits are going to operate when you are at your most weak point. They're going to find the weak point in your armor. That's where they're going to attack. You got to be a prophet. Find out what the weakest part in your armor is. That's where you're going to find Satan. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, we just mentioned Jacob. Was not Jacob alone at the point in time when his fight came and he was at his scaredest?
He does this over and over. You see, you have to learn to trust him. When you have other people there, you start putting your trust in them. Well, I'm glad you was here, James. I don't know if I could have done this without you. You realize you just took away Yahweh's glory and gave it to the man sitting beside you? So now Yahweh said, well, now I got to do it again. What you got to do that for? Because you didn't know it was me. You put your success on him. Now I got to make sure he ain't there. And now I got to do it again. Because this time you're going to know it's me. And then I'm going to get all the glory then. We don't know spiritually, that's what we said. Yahweh, do it again. Go ahead.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, if you be the son of Elohim, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Elohim. Then the devil takes him up into the holy city and sets him on a pinnacle of the temple and says unto him, if you be the son of Elohim, cast yourself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest at any time you shall dash your foot against a stone. Yahshua said unto him, it is written again, you shall not tempt the Adonai your Elohim. Again the devil takes him up into an exceeding high mountain, and shows him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and says unto him, all these things will I give you, if you will fall down and worship me.
Wait a minute, how did he get all this power over all the kingdoms? He just told everybody that he has the power to bless. And nobody wants to accept that. Everybody reads this. He says, you see the power of all the kingdoms. I can give you anything you want in it. Yet the first time we get something, we swear God had to give it to us. Why do you assume such? the one here is bragging about his ability to give anything you see. For your honor toward him. Correct?
Then says Yahshua unto him, Get you hence, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Adonai your Elohim, and him only shall you serve. Then the devil leaves him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Now when Yahshua had heard that Johanan was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast, in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali.
All right, now, you have to pay attention here. What happened? Verse 12. Now, when Yahshua had heard that Johanan was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee. Wait a minute, what's going on right here? Oh, now that he's been tested, now he can begin his ministry. We keep wondering why we can't start. Why we feel like we're being held back. Oh, no, you got a demon test. After he takes his demon test, now he can go forward with his ministry. Now it's time to move forward. He just passed spiritual boot camp. Correct?
That it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Esaias the prophet, saying, The land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people which sat in darkness saw great light, and to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up. From that time Yahshua began to preach and to say, Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
All right, so now he can officially begin. Let's go to our 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And let's read verses 1 through 13.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea. And were all baptized unto Moshe in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was the Mashiach. But with many of them Elohim was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted.
So, the children of Israel came out of Egypt and had to go get tested in the wilderness. Yahshua receives his baptism and have to go get tested in the wilderness. If we baptize into his name, he went through it, our forefathers went through it, how are we going to be exempt? Go ahead.
Neither be you idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt the Mashiach, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur you, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for examples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Therefore let him that thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. There has no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But Elohim is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it.
Right. Do you take the escape route given unto you when that temptation comes? He already provided an off ramp for you to get off. What keeps us on the wrong path, even though we see that exit ramp? Go ahead.
You know, Elder, it was in Bible study where I think the question was asked about Yahshua being in the Old Testament.
Uh-huh.
Now, if we go back to verse 9, it says, neither let you tempt the Mashiach, as some of them also tempted,
Uh-huh.
and were destroyed of serpents. So that means it was him they tempted back in them times.
Right. Man, Yahweh the CEO. We ain't dealing with him. This is our own little dream. Some of us been working at a company 20 years and you ain't never seen the CEO. Why is that a strange thought to you? We ain't never seen the dude name who signed the check. Some of us don't even try to figure out who that is. Long as the check clear. Let's go to Exodus chapter 18. Exodus 18, and let's read verses 14 through 22.
And when Moshe's father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that you do to the people? Why sit you yourself alone, and all the people stand by you from morning unto even? And Moshe said unto his father-in-law, because the people come on to me to inquire of Elohim. When they have a matter, they come on to me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of Elohim and his laws. And Moshe's father-in-law said unto him, the thing that you do is not good. You will surely wear away, both you and this people that is with you. For this thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to perform it yourself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give you counsel, and Elohim shall be with you. Be you for the people the Elohim word, that you may bring the causes unto Elohim. And you shall teach them ordinances and laws, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, you shall provide out of all the people able men, such as fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring on to you, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for yourself, and they shall bear the burden with you.
Now, this is still set up, but Yahweh did this another way, and the way in which he did it shows how spirits can move. Let's go to Numbers chapter 11. Here's where we have to focus on the attributes of something and not the physical entity itself. Numbers 11, and we're going to start that at verse 10.
Then Moshe heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled greatly. Moshe also was displeased. And Moshe said unto Yahweh, wherefore have you afflicted your servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in your eyes, in your sight, that you say that you layeth the burden of all this people upon me? Have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them, that you should say unto me, carry them in your bosom, as a nursing father bears the sucking child, unto the land which you swore unto their fathers? Whence should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. I'm not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if you deal thus with me, kill me, I pray you, out of hand, if I have found favor in your sight, and let me not see my wretchedness, pardon me. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with you. And I will come down and talk with you there. And I will take of the spirit which is upon you, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, that you bear it, not yourself alone.
All right, jump to verse 25.
And Yahweh came down in a cloud, and spake unto him, and took of the spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass, that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease.
Okay, so we are now seeing the transfer of a spirit. And we're not just looking at a transfer of spirit, but a division of the spirit. So how strong was the spirit that Moshe had that it was then a portion of it was taken from him, and then that portion was then divided among 70. But now you have some of the ability that he has now moved to these people. So this is a pretty strong point that now these attributes have transferred. So right after this, when people start prophesying, the people who close to Moshe got a little problem. Hey, these brothers prophesying. Well, calm down. They have spirit. Calm down. But we're watching how these spirits can move from one individual to the next. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 20. Sometimes you can tell when somebody has been around some other individuals and they don't know that they have testified against themselves, because they'll be around some person who speaks very hatefully, and they will come and all of a sudden you're talking to them and they're speaking just as hateful as the individual who they were just around. What happened? They went home with part of their spirit. They talking and sound just like the other individual. And they won't even notice it. Deuteronomy chapter 20, and let's read verses 1 through 8.
When you go out to battle against your enemies and see horses and chariots and a people more than you, be not afraid of them, for Yahweh your Elohim is with you, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when you're come near unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, you approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble. Neither be you terrified because of them. For Yahweh your Elohim is he that goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that has built a new house, and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that has planted a vineyard, and has not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is there that has betrothed a wife, and has not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart.
Wait a minute. So the fear will pass from one individual to another individual. That's a spirit of fear. See, we have spirits moving all the time around us, and we just don't acknowledge it for what it is. We say, I just got a feeling. There's been a transfer of a spirit there. One individual has fear, they then open their mouth, and then the fear rests on you. And you might not even get that fear right away. You may have the conversation with the person on one day. 2 days later, all of a sudden, you afraid of something. And you can't figure out, where did this fear come from? You got to backtrack them conversations. You didn't feel that way before a couple of days ago. And one of the things that we don't take into consideration is how other people get free. what they do is drop their fear or negative energy on you. When they then drop the negative energy on you, they are free to move. You now have the negative energy. Now it is working in you. And they were looking for somebody to drop it off on. And you became the candidate for that spirit. Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 1. And we're going to read verses 3 through 7.
I thank Elohim, whom I serve from my forefathers with pure conscience, that without ceasing I have remembrance of you in my prayers night and day, greatly desiring to see you, being mindful of your tears, that I may be filled with joy. When I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in you, which dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded that in you also. Wherefore I put you in remembrance that you stir up the gift of Elohim, which is in you by the putting on of my hands. For Elohim has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Wait a minute. Those are different spirits right here. Wherefore I put you in remembrance that you stir up the gift of Elohim, which is in you by the putting on of my hands. Wait a minute. Once he laid hands on them is how they got this spirit. Then, for Elohim has not given us the spirit of fear. See, we have to understand that there's one spirit of fear, and then there's the spirit of fear of Yahweh. The spirit of fear of Yahweh is the spirit of respect, and the spirit that you're going to follow the things that were given unto you. That's respect. The regular spirit of fear will cause you to fear everything. The spirit of fear of Yahweh will cause you to respect him and not have the fear of man. Two totally different things. All right, did you finish that up?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11, and let's read verses 1 through 5.
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might.
A lot of times, people like to help other people with their issues. We don't ask if those people have the spirit of counsel. We just like to talk to anybody who answers. We just start calling. Anybody pick up?
Let me tell you about my issues.
Did you check to see if they had the spirit of counsel? Afterwards, then we in more trouble. Why? Because you went to talk to somebody who did not have the spirit of counsel. Might be a good friend. Might even be an okay person. Really swell to be around. That don't mean they have the spirit of counsel. That you thought since they was close to you, that this is who I'll go talk to. Go ahead.
The spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh.
So this is Yahshua, and he has the spirit of fear of Yahweh. The spirit of fear of Yahweh caused him to be bold enough to turn over tables. See, the spirit of fear of Yahweh is not the same as the spirit of fear. You got to be pretty bold to go in the temple turn over the table that got the money on it, grab some cords, and start whipping people. Tell them to get all the doves and the things that y'all selling up out of here. No, that's not the spirit of fear. That's the spirit of fear of Yahweh. Totally different. Go ahead.
And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked.
Now, the majority of the earth is preparing for a love fest. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. Most people are still stuck on him leaving as a lamb. They don't really understand that he's returning as a lion. He's not returning as the lamb that was led to slaughter. So while they're getting ready to meet him with flowers, he's showing up with swords and an army. They're getting ready for the wrong type of meeting. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
All right. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12. See, we are preparing for the wrong thing. But when we only want to hear good things, this is what makes us only prepare for good things. Revelation chapter 12, and we're going to start that at verse 7.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
Right. So we have to think about the thought process that we have been taught that everybody dies, goes to heaven. And then we hear in the New Testament that there's going to be a war in heaven. Now, all the people who say they're going to heaven, it's amazing that they don't really discuss where everybody going to be when the war jump off. Go ahead.
And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So understand, at first, he already comes and goes, as we read in Job. And he comes and goes and seeks whom he may deceive. At this junction, he is in the earth permanently. He no longer goes back and forth. So we now have his undivided attention. Go ahead.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his anointed one. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
What did he do before concerning Job? That was an accusation. That was a straight accusation. He don't serve you for nothing. But I mean, take all this stuff he got, and he'll curse you to your face. That's an accusation. And it says he accuses the children of Israel day and night. Go ahead.
And they overcame him by the power of the Lamb, by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down on to you having great anger, because he knows that he has but a short time.
So the adversary, this evil spirit was very calm in talking about slaying Job and persecuting Job. It was a calm discussion. He wasn't angry. Now look at all of the things that he did to Job. Killed all his kids, took away all his money, took away everything. Got his wife to ask him to curse Elohim and die. All of this was without the adversary being angry. This is just his normal operation. Here, he's greatly angry. He's greatly angry, and he has his attention set on a certain group of people. This is different. Now you have a spirit that comes with other spirits, and now they're angry. Now they already worked a lot of havoc without being angry. Now we on a different level. Go ahead.
When the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man-child.
Right. He persecuted the woman that brought forth the man-child. He is very interested in the children of Israel. So, whether we know it or not, you signed up to be a demon fighter. You know, they used to, they asked us when we were young, well, what you want to be when you grow up? And I figured, I just must have watched too many cartoons or something. Because I said, look, I don't want to tell you what I want to be when I grow up because it don't make no sense. They said, well, go ahead and tell us. Now, we ain't going to laugh. We promise. Just tell us what you going to be when you grow up. I said, it don't make no sense. They said, come on, man, just tell us. I said, all right. When I grow up, I'm going to be a demon fighter. They didn't laugh right I was standing there. But you can tell it. All right, we'll be back. Well, the whole thing, it was even stupid to me. But where did the thought come from? Like I had a family of demon fighters, and where did it come from? How did it get there? Why is that the thing that came out of my mouth? It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense yet. See, that's our problem. Sometimes we'll get something a little too early, and because it doesn't make sense at that point, we think that it's never going to make sense. Now it makes perfect sense. Go ahead, brother. We finished that?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to John chapter 8. And let's start that at verse 37.
I know that you're Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me because my word has no place in you.
I know that you are Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me. So when you have individuals who are entertaining a different spirit, that different mindset is going to also bring about a difficult or a difference in a physical stand against certain things. Go ahead.
I speak that which I have seen with my father, and you do that which you've seen with your father.
Okay, and now he's going pretty hard right here. Because he's saying the spirit that you follow is your dad. So you determine who your spiritual father is. Yahshua said, who is my mother? Who is my brother? My mother and my brother are the people that share in this word with me. So who is your father? Go ahead.
They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yahshua says unto them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. But now you seek to kill me, a man that has told you the truth, which I have heard of Elohim. This did not Abraham.
If you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. So that means you would be following in the spirit of Abraham if you were Abraham's seed. But being that you seek to kill a man who has only told you the truth, your father then is the devil, because you are following his spirit. Go ahead.
You do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication, we have one father, even Elohim. Yahshua said unto them, if Elohim were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from Elohim. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my words.
You can't. Sometimes we're talking to an individual who has a different spirit. It's not about education. It's about that spirit is blocking them from actually hearing what is said. Go ahead.
You are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks it of his own, for he's a liar and the father of it.
Right. So then when we decide we're going to lie, we are now entertaining the spirit of the adversary, the devil, and we then allow and agree to be his children. And we'll get in things that would cause us to lie in a minute. And in that moment, you just signed adoption papers to the adversary of the devil. Here you go, yeah, I signed you my daddy. Because he's not just going to let you tell his lie without paying him. He owns that. That's his. You don't get to tell that and not pay him. You got to pay him for that. And he want his money. Go ahead.
And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of Elohim hears Elohim's words. You therefore hear them not, because you're not of Elohim.
He that is of Elohim hears his words. Now, most of the time, people think that means that God has to talk to them. You don't have to hear Elohim's words from Elohim. Do you not recognize the word? It says, the words that I speak unto you are spirit. Are you able to recognize the spirit of truth in the word? This is what Yahshua was doing as he had his altercation with the adversary. Let's go to John chapter 13. Now, if we pay attention to all of the things that are happening in the earth right now, we have to understand that there is an increased demonic presence already here. When you look at some of these news programs and see some of the things that are happening, and a lot of them are being committed by our people. Those evil spirits are using, these people have no guard. So the evil spirit can use them at will. John chapter 13, and let's read verses 1 through 5.
Now, before the feast of the Passover, when Yahshua knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them on to the end. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simeon's son, to betray him.
Wait a minute. He finishes. I understand. This is their feast. We get so surprised that people who feast with us then betray us. When you baptized unto his death, if they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more should they call you? He feasts with him and then betrays him. Go ahead.
Yahshua, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hand, and that he was come from Elohim, and went to Elohim, he rises from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel and girded himself. After that, he pours water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded.
So now he's moving to the next phase. Look, I'm going to be betrayed. I will not be here any longer. I need to go ahead and cleanse and strengthen you. You don't understand what I'm doing to you right now. You will understand later. So even as he knows, all right, this, I can't get away from this, he still moves on with the job at hand. He does not stop. But look at how you have all of these individuals, all these disciples. Yahshua the only one know that it's going to be Judas. Judas don't even know it's going to be Judas. Judas think that he is just as real as everybody there. He said, is it I? One of you that dips the hand in the dish with me shall betray me. That was a heck of a statement, being that all of them dipped in the dish. Come on, man. You said something generic. He that dips in the dish. We all did it. All right, well, there it is. Come on, man. Don't do this. Now tell us, man, who is it? No, he didn't want to tell. He didn't even know it was him. But now, right after he has the Passover, he then goes about to betray the individual who is the true reason for that Passover. And the devil put that in his heart. So if you're trying to look around and figure out where is deception going to come from, it was a room full of disciples and none of them know. You got the rock of the church. He ain't know. You have all these other individuals. They ain't know. They wanted to know. If they'd have found out, they'd have beat him to a crisp. But Yahshua didn't need that to happen. How is the word going to be fulfilled if y'all do that? Go ahead, brother. Did you finish that?
Yes.
Let's go to Romans chapter 7. So the Spirit enters him, and although he is amongst them, he has spent this time with them. He has traveled with them. He has broke bread with them. And when the evil spirit gets in his heart, he then betrays the Son of Man. And at this point, he feels justified. And all of us like to think that we're so strong that we can never be overcome by an evil spirit. Romans chapter 7, let's start at verse 7.
What shall we say then? Is the law sin? Elohim forbid. No, I had not known sin but by the law, or had not known lust, except the law had said, you shall not covet. But sin, taking occasion by the commandment, brought in me all manner of concupence. For without the law, sin was dead. For I was alive without the law once, but when the commandment came, sin revived, and I died. And the commandment which was ordained to life, I found to be unto death. For sin, taking occasion by the commandment, deceived me, and by it slew me. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good.
Right. But you have people that says, they're not governed by any law. They don't know that Yahshua brought forth law in the New Testament. They hear the word law and they are totally repulsed. Because all they can think about is Moshe. Even though we proclaim to love the Mashiach, we proclaim to love Christ, but don't understand that he brought forth law too. Go ahead.
Was then that which is good made death unto me? Elohim forbid. But sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by the which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwells in me.
Now, it is no more I that do it, but the sin that dwells in me. Wait a minute. Now, we are having a war in our members between the flesh and the spirit. And then you have the adversary, the devil, who want to get in and influence your internal war. Go ahead.
For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwells no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but the sin that dwells in me. I find then a law.
Wait a minute. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but the sin that dwells in me. Now, to deal with that, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. Go ahead.
For I delight in the law of Elohim after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Elohim through Yahshua HaMashiach Ayadne. So then when the mind, I myself serve the law of Elohim. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of Elohim, but with the flesh, the law of sin.
Right. So then there is this internal war that is already going on. Lucifer sends his agents to just go in and tweak a little bit. They don't have to rebuild and make an altercation. There's already one there. Because your flesh wants to do one thing, and the spirit in you wants to do something else. And all we have to do is put ourselves in vicinity of the wrong individuals. And now our spirit is now engaging with other spirits. See, all they had to do was to get the spirit of fear was be in the vicinity of other fearful people. And then that spirit transferred from those individuals to the other people in proximity to them. And if there are many spirits, we have to then think about how things can be moved from one point to another. Let's go to Matthew chapter 27. A lot of times when people go through changes, they want to know, well, why? If you're supposed to forgive your brother, why people don't, forgive me? The spirit of your actions have to change. Otherwise, you're operating in the same spirit. Matthew 27, and let's read verses 1 through 9.
When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahshua to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Yehudas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders.
How he know he was condemned? When the devil entered into him, he went to betray him. Then he realized that he was condemned. What happened? The evil spirit left. It has used him for what it wanted out of him. Now that it has used his body, the spirit no longer needs Judas. Now when the spirit leaves Judas, he now understands what he has done. Now he's back to himself. Now he wants to try and clear it up. Go ahead.
Saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us?
Right.
See you to that.
Mm-hmm.
And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple.
He don't even want the silver. Wait a minute. He did it for the silver. He went and asked them, how much for me to deliver him to you? They said 30 pieces of silver. He said, bet. He delivers him. He gets the 30 pieces of silver. Then the evil spirit leaves him. He now realizes that he's holding 30 pieces of silver. But he has done a great harm. Now he don't even want the silver. Go ahead.
And went and hanged himself.
Uh-huh.
And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and brought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field is called the field of blood unto this day.
Uh-huh.
Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value.
Right. So he's fulfilling prophecy. So it was already written. He then entertains a spirit that agrees to the 30 pieces of silver, the very price that's written. But he has no idea that that's what he's doing. The whole time, he believes that he's in charge and that he's making these decisions. Let's go to Luke chapter 15. Luke chapter 15, and let's read verses 11 through 19.
And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living.
Wait a minute. We don't want to see this, that we have now entertained the spirit of covetousness. There's now a different spirit. If you ain't figured out by now, there's a certain amount of money that is your threshold for righteousness. Once you go past that amount, you're in trouble. And different people have different amounts. Some of us can do good as long as we're on a certain level. Take us too far above that level, and we have some problems. Once he gets this money, there's a spirit that takes over him. We don't think it's going to happen to us. We don't see it because it happens slowly. We say, I'm still the same person. I just got a little bit more money. And we slowly get worse and worse. And how it is disguised. Because we then find friends who are just as horrible as us. So then we blend in very well. See, we don't have the same old friends. We have new friends that match the excess of riot that we are entertaining. So now we can't tell that we're off because everybody else is off. Now, if we go back to sound-minded individuals, then we'll be able to say, well, wait, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? But we don't want to be around those people anymore. We want to be around the new found friends that we have. And they operate the same way. Go ahead.
And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And when he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him, and when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare,
now
and perish with
here
hunger?
we go again. What caused him to come to himself? He entertained a spirit of excess and riot. Once the money is gone, he now becomes able to be free of the spirit. Now, what's interesting is this. The money is gone for a minute. He still didn't come out of the spirit right away when the money was gone. There's still hope that we'll regain the money. So the spirit still hangs around. But eventually, the spirit of riot and excess said, man, I can't have no fun here. You ain't got no money. We like to do all kind of riotous things, man, and you can't afford me. This evil spirit said you ain't got enough to afford me. I'm the party animal spirit. You need to get your money up. Now, you get your money back up. Come look me up. But I'm gone. Now, he comes to himself. He comes to himself. The spirit of excess and riot don't want to be there with him anymore. He doesn't have the things necessary for it to use. Go ahead.
I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you.
He couldn't even have that thought as long as the spirit of excess and riot was with him. He can't even say, I should go back to my daddy. That spirit won't let him. Go ahead.
And am no more worthy to be called your son. Make me as one of your hired servants.
All right, let's go to Daniel chapter 10. He has to wait for that spirit to leave so he can come to himself, the him that he was before he got the money. Daniel chapter 10, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long. And he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks.
Wait a minute. All right. So the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had an understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks, 21 days. Go ahead.
I ate no pleasant bread.
Uh-huh.
Neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth. Neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled.
3 whole weeks were fulfilled. Go ahead.
And in the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz.
Uh-huh.
His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass.
I'm sorry, but the angel black. They keep telling you the Gentiles wrote this Bible. They could have clearly described him as silky hair, straight, flowing down to his buttocks. They could have said he glowed of whiteness. He looked like baby powder. Matter of fact, we call him Johnson and Johnson. They could have did all of that. Why didn't they do it? Perfect opportunity. This is a worker from heaven. It says his body was like the beryl. He pretty black. He not just black, he blackety black. His face as the appearance of lightning, his eyes as lamps of fire, his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. This is what we would call antique brass. Wait a minute. It says, let us make man in our image. Who is our? Okay. Well, what man did they make? If they made a man in their image, they black. What man they make? Then the man was then made out of the ground. What color dirt? Oh, okay. But see, when you start mentioning the obvious, now people want to claim you're a racist. Why? Because I can read. That's what makes me that. Go ahead.
And the voice of his words were like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words. And when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto you, and stand upright, for unto you am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you did set your heart to understand and to chasten yourself before your Elohim, your words were heard, and I am come for your words.
Wait a minute. He was mourning three whole weeks. It said from the first time you prayed, I was sent to you. That was 21 days. Are we able to withstand long enough for the Spirit to show up? This Spirit have to fight to get to you. Something don't want the Spirit to reach you. Go ahead.
But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days.
21 days, another spirit fought this spirit. You think you waiting on your prayers to be answered. Your prayers was already answered, but they got a demon to fight to get to you. You wondering, when Yahweh going to answer? He already answered. But it's a fight going on. Now, do you go out and help the wrong side in that fight? Then you extend your 21 days. Now you keep saying, why is God forsaking me? You forsaking you. You don't want to help the wrong side. Go ahead.
But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me.
Wait a minute. So there's a spirit that kept the angel from coming to you. And then another spirit had to come help the spirit that was sent to you. We think everything is all about us. Understand, these whole 3 weeks that he's mourning, he has no idea that there's a 21-day fight going on. He thinks it's all about him. This man, look here, from day one, as soon as you open your mouth, it would say, go down there, take care of that. Go ahead.
And I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I'm come to make you understand what shall befall your people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And, behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth, and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my master, by the vision my sorrows are turned unto me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my master talk with this my master? For as for me, straightway there remain no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me.
Wait a minute. So you have a period of strong weakness. Then you have verse 16, and behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake and said unto him that stood before me, O my Adonai, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. So wait a minute. After 21 days, he then get a vision and then become even more problemed than he was the 3 weeks. Now, wait a minute. Why you come here then? You came here to give me more trouble. Process. Then the strength comes after that. Go ahead.
And said, O man greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto you. Be strong. Yes, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my master speak.
When he spoke unto me, I was strengthened. Go ahead.
For you have strengthened me. Then said he, Knoweth you wherefore I came unto you? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia.
Wait a minute, I got a job to do. I got to go fight some other demons. They're not just going to let me just walk up in here and come to you. Although they might have a hedge round about you and they can't harm you, that don't mean that they just going to let that angel come to you without a fight. The hedge is around you, not around the other angel. Now you're dealing with two like entities. Oh, now they got to battle it out. And what happened when there's an angel stronger than your angel? What happened if your angel then needs some help? And he requests help and they say, well, you know what, I've been looking at their works. And I don't think you should get any help. But Yahweh, I was sent here. I know. But I've been looking at what they've been doing. I'm not putting any more resources. However long it take you to get past that demon, That's how long they're going to have to wait. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And when I'm gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. But I'll show you that which is noted in the scripture of truth. And there is none that holds with me in these things, but Michael, your prince.
All right. Let's go to Mark chapter 5. See, we like to just picture us and Yahweh. That's all we want to picture. There's a multitude of things going on. And we can either be helping or hurting that process. Which one are we doing?
So he's saying, I'm going to go back to go fight with this man, but just beware another one coming this way.
So if we have a problem that we are afraid of spirits, we ain't going to do nothing. Because they all around you.
Mark chapter 5 and verse 1. And they came over onto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Yahshua far off, he ran and worshipped him.
Wait a minute. This bad spirit know who Yahshua is. It's not that the man recognizes Yahshua. That spirit know who that is. There are certain places where Yahshua said, hold your peace and come out of him. Don't tell these people who I am. Go ahead.
And cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with you, Yahshua, you son of the Most High Elohim? I adjure you by Elohim, that you torment me not. For he said unto him, come out of the man, you unclean spirit.
Come out of the man, you unclean spirit. There's a spirit that dwells in that body. Now understand, this is not during the time of an increased amount of demonic spirits, because the adversary of the devil has not gotten kicked out. This is just normal operation. We're talking about we're entering into a time where this is going to be magnified. And if we are not guarding our spirit, all of a sudden, something has you doing something, and you can't figure out why. Go ahead.
And he asked him, what is your name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there near unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. And all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And forthwith Yahshua gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea.
Wait a minute. So the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine. So now you can have an animal that entertains the unclean spirit. That the unclean spirit can leave out of a man and then go into an animal, and then you have the unclean spirit in your house through the animal? But understand what kind of animal this is now. It's a herd of swine. See, a lot of times we domesticate things that ain't supposed to be domesticated. See, we like getting all exotic stuff. I'm going to get me a snake. I'm going to get me a iguana. I'm going to get me all these things, right? And when that unclean spirit said, I found me somewhere to dwell. What are you doing with that thing? We think it's cool. We can walk around with a snake around our neck, walk in the park. This unclean spirit said, don't cast us out. Send us into the herd of swine. Now, it's one thing just to have the animal that has the unclean spirit. What happens if you try to eat it? Go ahead.
And they that fed the swine fled, and told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what it was that was done. And they come to Yahshua, and see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion, sitting and clothed, and in his right mind. And they were afraid. And they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coast.
Check that out. He healed the man. The man is clothed and in his right mind. The swine ran violently over the cliff. They said, we want you to go. We don't want nobody healing our unclean spirits. Right. Now, there's another part in a different place. In Matthew 8:29, it says, and behold, they cried out, saying, what have you to do with us, Yahshua, the son of Elohim? Are you come hither to torment us before the time? Wait a minute. So they also know what time the fight. They said, look, that we may not know the hour or the day or the minute, but we know certain things ain't happened. It ain't time for you to torment us yet. Interesting. Let's go to Matthew chapter 13. And if the adversary of the devil has tried Yahshua, what make us think that he wouldn't try us? Matthew 13, and we're going to start at verse 36.
Then Yahshua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
Okay.
But the tares are the children of the wicked one.
Wait a minute. So the adversary, the devil, then plants his wicked children in places near the children of Yahweh. They have a purpose. They have been assigned to the children of Israel. Go ahead.
The enemy that sowed them is the devil, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do lawlessness, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Wait a minute. Yahshua just described the lake of fire. He just described the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. Most people are purposely not told that that means lawlessness. That way, they can feel justified in saying the law is nailed to the cross. Wait a minute, he's going to deal with a certain group of people. But when you can read iniquity and not understand that it's talking about lawlessness, you can then keep a mindset to say the law is nailed to the cross. He's dealing with whoever these people are. But that ain't us. But at the same time and in the same breath say, we're not bound by the law. You understand who we throwing in the lake of fire? And this is New Testament. Go ahead.
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who has ears to hear, let him hear.
Who has ears to hear, let him hear. Let's go to Luke chapter 23.
You know, elders, we're going there. Verse 43 also touches on what we're dealing with in Bible study again with no need of the sun or the moon in the kingdom.
Right.
Because we're talking about the end of the world here, and he's giving you the setup.
Uh-huh. But you know, you don't need to deal with any of that if you're going to heaven. You ain't got to pay none of that no attention. You gonna get a piece of the pie in the sky. And that makes people feel warm and cozy at night. And that's all they want to deal with. If you speak about anything else, then you into that judgment, and we're not dealing with judgment. But Yahshua was the one that said that he was going to do all of these things to those who walked in iniquity, lawlessness. Luke chapter 23, and let's start that at verse 13.
And Pilate, when he had called together the chief priests and the rulers and the people, said unto them, Ye have brought this man unto me, as one that perverteth the people. And, behold, I have examined him before you. I have found no fault in this man touching those things whereof you accuse him. No, nor yet Herod, for I sent you to him, and, lo, nothing worthy of death is done unto him.
Okay, so then if the adversary of the devil was cast down, it says the accuser of our brethren, which accused them day and night, is cast down. Now, you have the people have gotten together to accuse Yahshua. What spirit did they entertain? The same accuser. Go ahead.
I will therefore chastise him and release him. For of necessity he must release one unto them at the feast. And they cried out all at once, saying, Away with this man, and release unto us Barabbas, who for a certain sedition made in the city, and for murder was cast into prison.
They want to have a murderer released. They said, release him. Not this one. Now, what kind of spirit must you be entertaining to ask that the murderer goes free? But the man who you can't prove any sin has actually been done, that's the one you want crucified. Go ahead.
A man who has saved lives, but you want to release a man who taken lives.
Yes. But see, when you are entertaining a spirit, common sense ain't that common. Because now it's all about how you think, feel, and believe. And that spirit is leading, persecute him. Why? Never mind. Release Barabbas, release the murderer, and kill him. And that spirit has changed. It's the chief priests who got together and entertained that spirit. They then spoke unto the children of Israel. Then they received the same spirit from the chief priests. So we're watching the spirit change hands. Go ahead.
You know, as you're breaking that down, so they go to chief priest, the people getting the spirit from him. We look at Moshe, the high priest at the time, whose spirit was divided to 70. Pilate, therefore, willing to release Yahshua, spake again to them. But they cried, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. And he said unto them the third time, Why? What evil has he done?
What evil has he done? This is a Gentile who's saying, I don't want to kill this Jew. What has he done? But they have entertained that spirit so strong. They want what they want. And they said, we want him dead. Go ahead.
I have found no cause of death in him. I will therefore chastise him and let him go. And they were instant with loud voices, requiring that he might be crucified. And the voices of them and of the chief priests prevailed. And Pilate gave sentence that it should be as they required.
Wait a minute. Verse 23 says they were instant with loud voices and requiring that he might be crucified. Oftentimes they tell you when people start shouting and jumping up and down that they caught the spirit. What spirit is that? Because as they were instant with loud voices, so apparently this same spirit is leading them. They screaming and shouting. We have been told that this screaming and shouting and this show is them catching the spirit. Is that the same spirit that ordered him dead? Because they share some attributes here. They do a lot of screaming and going on. Interesting. Go ahead.
And he released unto them him that for sedition and murder was cast into prison, whom they had desired. But he delivered Yahshua to their will.
He delivered Yahshua to their will. That spirit that they entertained overcame them. Even though it was a wrong act, that spirit that was passed on to them by those whom they spent time with. See, we'll just spend time with people not understanding. There's a transfer of spirit going on. Either you're affecting their spirit or they're affecting yours. Something's happening there. And it's our own arrogance that tells us we can go into any demonic place and not be affected. That's our mindset. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6. There are some places that I had to be in the Word 20 years before I went back. But folks that look at that, been in the Word 20 minutes, and say, I'm going to go. Well, I heard Esaac go. You going down? Took me 20 years before I went back in there. But folk don't ask enough questions. They just see something and say, well, if he did it. See, that's what happened. We'll read and don't know the difference between verse 12 and 13 to 20 years. And you think, I'm just finna run up in there. We don't even ask questions. You might see a brother do something you don't know. He had a 20-year pause to build his spirit before he went back in there. Then you go in there and die and then blame the brother. I blame my death on you. You should ask some questions before you went over there. He asked no questions. You went somewhere and got slayed. And then come back here with your dead body. Go ahead, brother. Ephesians chapter 6. And let's start that at verse 10.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the agony and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Elohim, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
All right, so you got to put your whole armor on. Don't let the peace for a time get you to believing that you're going to have peace always. Right?
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
What did Jacob wrestle against? It wasn't flesh and blood that Jacob was wrestling with. We don't think that we're going to be called by the holy name of Israel, and you think you ain't going to wrestle with nothing? The name you are called by, wrestle with something. Go ahead.
Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. We just see the people sitting there. We just see the people that those wicked spirits are using. There's a spirit behind those individuals. We're looking at the people. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, it just hit me. It says spiritual wickedness in high places. We'd look at what we call the slums or some hole in the wall. Oh, man, I'm not going there because that's where you're expecting us to be.
Right.
High places are your glamorous, glorious entities.
Right? Oh, no, we sign up and go through initiation so that we can be a part of the wickedness in high places. We actually paid a membership fee. So this is how they make you feel like you really, really doing something.
This is exclusive. All right. Everybody can't worship the devil on this level. You got to audition now to worship the devil. Here.
Wait a minute. You got to pay the admission. Now we feel like now we're being allowed to do something. Now we got prestige. See, we ain't just no regular devil worshiper now. Right. Go ahead.
Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Elohim, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
Ain't no need to have all of these things if you ain't gonna do nothing with it. Ain't no need of having all these things if those spirits ain't never going to attack you. Go ahead.
And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Elohim. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak.
For which I am an ambassador in bonds. Every time you talk to folks, what they say is, we don't want to be a part of that bondage. All their gospel come from him. Yet he says, I'm an ambassador in bonds. They say, we don't be a part. So you dealing with that bondage. Wait a minute. Where does your gospel come from? See, as being a servant to Yahweh, I don't ever want to be free. They say, all right, you served your time, you can go. No. It says, if a servant loves his master and said, but no, I'll stay with my master, then he bear through his ear with an awl and says, I will stay. Some of y'all got earrings because you think you're pretty. You don't even know what the hell in your ear. Right. Did you finish that, brother?
Yes, sir. Verse 20.
That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.